Hello, everyone. I promised you a couple of charts to take a look at the Liliths in detail. Just to remind you, there are three astrological Liliths. The Diastolic Lilith denotes a revolt against injustice. The dark moon Lilith is delineated as an archetype that is linked to the acceptance of some sort of curse. Okay, when you are determined not to stay at a place or in a situation, and you just turn your head and leave, and you don't care what you leave behind, and you don't care even if someone or some people put a curse on you for your decision. And then the black moon Lilith is the goddess energy that first of all has presentience and clairvoyance and knows what is happening. And at the same time, it requires, again, courage and stamina and endurance, and also some sort of trait that is allowing you to enter. I don't even know how to phrase this, but it requires you to enter on either an uncharted territory or a dangerous territory. In this case, Lilith goes back to the Garden of Eden, from where she has been banished previously. So it's a forbidden territory. But nevertheless, she goes in and does what she needs to do. If you watch this for the first time, there are two other Lilith episodes of this video. This is the third one. This is going to be very technical because I'm going to show you three charts in detail, what the Liliths are doing. Just to remind you, we deal with the Liliths only in women's charts. Men are simply not actually able to either understand or digest the Lilith story. That's my my position. That is my experience with clients. So I only deal with the Lilith as a Lilith archetype as a myth, as its entirety, when you see that all three are prominent. By prominence, I mean usually conjunctions. First deal with the conjunctions and only try to look at something else when you already mastered the story. And but I'm going to show you three charts, out of which only one, the end chart, will have the Liliths prominent as such by conjunctions. The rest of the charts are going to be different. So let's look at first on Monica's chart. These are, two of them are students and one is my client. I both, I mean, all three got, I got their permission for showing their charts. And this chart is interesting because it does have all sorts of very interesting feminine issues, feminine stories, so to speak. Look at the Mercury pulse of Athena, Venus in the 12th. Look at the Ceres North Node in the 1st. Okay, that requires you to learn about nurturing and motherhood as a duty, as a chosen destiny duty. You have the Pluto-Juno conjunction. That is a very intense cohesion between the spouse and you. It means it can be a marriage from hell, but it can be also a marriage everlasting kind of. This is the image that it's projected. And then the moon in Pisces on the midheaven, that enough is very, very strong. It means that the moon, your own soul, is shining light on either your vocation or your future dreams and aspirations. But it also means that I want to be known. I want to shine out there. And of course, the Pisces moon is the psychic sponge that gets everything in and understands everything. And then you have the dark moon Lilith Aries conjunction. Now, you might remember that Aries is a centaur. It is actually a TNO, an SDO. So it's probably a scattered disk object somewhere out there in the outskirts of the solar system. It's a very slow-moving centaur. In karmic astrology, it denotes drastically altered outward circumstances. And the ongoing Aries-Pluto square, cardinal square, is describing the shit we are in at the moment. If you look around how the world, the state of the world is really frightening. And it's usually frightening, not just because what's happening, but what's happening in the minds of people, what's happening up here. Anyhow, so you have a very long orbital period here with Aries. Everyone who is alive now it has Aries in Aries. But you have the dark moon conjuncted, exactly conjuncted. And the dark moon travels 3 degrees a day. So it's a fast moving thing. So to incarnate in the exact moment when these two are conjunct is going to be important. And this Lilith, the dark moon, denotes the acceptance of the curse under such circumstances, under drastically ordered outward circumstances. So it simply means that the lady, Monica, carried in the past some sort of decision, and she didn't care whether that is going to put a curse on her. Here you have the asteroid Lilith retrograding in Capricorn, squaring this conjunction. And you also have the Pluto in Leo putting a trine on it. It's not going to close. It's not going to be, there's not going to be a proper engine here. It's simply because the individual aspects are there, but the configuration is not really closing. This is instead of a quincunx, this is a biquintile. And I don't really like, I don't really like to use configurations when you have aspects with different families, aspect families, and this is what you have here. But of course, you can utilize it as such as because the other, at the same time, the other engine is there. So you have the trans Pluto, which is again a wife energy, and the black moon in Scorpio clashing in a fixed square. So it's an old unresolved problem or issue. And at the anchor point, you have the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, which is generational. So that's one thing. That's one client and one chart. Let's take a look at Kata. She is a student, and as you can see, she also has some interesting feminine aspects in her chart. The Pluto Ceres denotes issues around mothering and nurturing, to say the least. And then you have Vesta on the IC, which means two things. Either it means that she is able to focus on home, on family, but it also means that in the ancient past, she used to be a priestess. The Chiron Sedna conjunction in Taurus is a generational one. We're going to tackle that in some other time, but because now we are going to focus on the Liliths. So let's take a look at the Liliths. The asteroid Lilith is retrograde in Aquarius, standing alone. There's no conjunction around it. And it denotes some sort of reward against injustice regarding issues of either faith or religion or some sort of life governing principles or rules, something like that. And what is the most interesting portion of this chart is the Jupiter Dark Moon Lilith conjunction on the Ascendant. They're both in the 12th. Jupiter is very, very close, so you could actually use it as a conjunction. And Jupiter on the Ascendant invariably means that I want to be lucky in this life. I want to feel good. I want to feel happy. I don't want any headache. Okay, and this is exactly how this woman comes across. She's a boisterous, kind, nice person. She's always happy. She's making other people happy around her. And then, of course, when you look at the karmic chart and you see that the dark moon is there, and all of a sudden you are taken aback, like because that is a difficult placement. And sure enough, it denotes that if you are in a situation that you no longer want to bear, then you walk away. No matter what you leave behind, no matter who you leave behind, you just can't take it anymore. You can't tolerate it anymore, and just leave. You get the hell out. And that's exactly what she has been doing a couple of times already. And then the other stuff there in the 12th house is the, this is it, the triple conjunction of Moon, Venus, and Black Moon Lilith. In itself, the Moon-Venus conjunction suggests that in her psyche, these two dissected archetypes are one. So she can actually reconcile how I don't want to use any bad words here. Anyhow, you can reconcile the dissected energy of the mother and the lover. Let's be nice. And then the Black Moon adds stamina, adds courage, and adds knowledge to the whole. But it's in the 12th, the triple conjunction is in the 12th house. So how is she going to use this? How is she going to utilize this? Well, she has to learn it. She has to somehow take it out of the picture and utilize it. Going back to the Lilith, the Diastolic Lilith, which is also retrograde. So you can already say that it is karmically heavily debted. Let's put it this way. And the square to Juno obviously describes some sort of difficulty regarding relating and committed relationships. It is also a fixed square, so it's an ancient problem. And the funny part is that you do have here a little tiny, how do you call it, trapeze. It's really a nice one because it is based on the Lilith Pallas Athena quincunx. So you could actually both very, very open and very single archetypes. I don't need anyone. I can do whatever I want. It's a bidirectional quincunx, so you can actually learn how to be wisely free. And on the top of the trapeze, you have the Neptune-Juno sextile, semi-sextile, sorry, and two sextiles are the sides. So it's a nice little trapeze, and unconditional love and may help her to commit, but the basic how should I put this? Again, I don't want to use bad words. The basic issue, karmic issue of not being able to relate for long because I can't stay in a situation that is against my wish. That is loud and clear, but you can actually rectify it. You can actually heal it with unconditional love. Okay, and also you can also heal it by remaining alone and wise, but commit yourself if you can. So that's it. And the third one is probably the most interesting one because all three Liliths are conjunct something. I'm not going to show you the whole chart because actually I don't want this video to be too long. I just wanted to present you how powerful the Liliths can be in a woman's chart. And here you have three interesting conjunctions, and actually one is a triple conjunction. There's a Moon Lilith conjunction in Libra in the first, denoting that revolt against injustice is simply coined into the psyche of this woman, into her spiritual essence, which she wants to utilize in this life because it's in the first house. So kind of like the message is, don't mess with me, okay? Because I will know what is right and what's wrong. And okay, I might have a nice little Libra moon, a nice little people pleaser moon, as Julie Hall, my master, kept saying. She kept saying this about Libras, that they are people pleasers. But yeah, right. I don't take shit. This is what Lilith says on the moon. And the dark moon is interesting here because it is exactly conjunct Chiron. Chiron denotes it's the sum total of our karmic wounds. And what can we do with karmic wounds? We can do two things. We can either heal them, and in this case, the wounds become special traits, talents, ingeniousness, or we can fall prey to them and then they become phobias, okay? The fact that the dark moon is here denotes that this woman has been able to walk away and accept the curse, although it caused her a lot of pain and suffering. And in this way, in this life, she can still do the same. She can enter situations with full force, Lilith moon in the first, but when she realizes that this is no longer feasible for her, or she's actually suffering a lot of harm through it, she is able to stay out of it and go. And how? Well, it's explained by the triple conjunction of the Aries Mars, Black Moon Lilith in Aries. And Aries Mars is suggests actually that in past lives, she was able to move out of drastically altered outward circumstances by courage and by utilizing her own will, by exercising her own will, which is very strong, of course, because Mars is in its own sign. But also with the help of the Black Moon Lilith, which requires foresight, actually provides you with foresight, with clairvoyance, with clairsentience, and the ability to know that something important is happening in the world, and the courage that you can stay there as long as you need, but also do what you need. And that's the key. I hope you like this video. I hope it helps you clarify what the Liliths are in a chart. Start working with them if you're interested. Try to use the conjunctions first, or the very tight aspects, and see how they open up the karmic layers of a chart. Good luck with it. Thank you for listening. Bye.